Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. Car launch for the sports hit list by the fans and for the fans. We are live right now.
This is the sports hit list.
So get the show ready. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hope everybody can hear me. We are getting ready to do this live right now. So those who may not know, who have not woken up yet, that Kevin Durant has been traded.
Bullshit, for real?
Yeah, we live right now. So it's time for us to share. We are live right now. As I was saying, for those who are still sleeping, because I know some people are still, or who are on the East, on the West Coast, where it's 9 a.m., who are just waking up, Kevin Durant has been traded. Bro, I'm going to need you to just turn... Bro, I'm gonna need you to turn your phone, bro. Turn your phone.
Came in hot.
It is. It really is. There we go. So for those who may not know, I'm gonna break down the trade. Just let them know and be aware. You know, Kevin Durant was traded last night, approximately 1 a.m. Eastern.
This morning.
The Brooklyn Nets are trading Kevin Durant and TJ Warren to the Phoenix Suns for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round draft picks, and a 2028 pick swap. The unprotected picks are for 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029, according to Woj. I have to be completely transparent. My younger brother, who is on this panel, Marv Zoe, he called me at 1 o'clock in the morning twice. And when Carl is not responding, that means I'm sleeping. I'm generally up around 4 in the morning, but I was sleeping. And I woke up to take my, midnight, or use the restroom. And something told me to just check my phone. Normally, my phone is not in the bedroom because if I stay on it, if it's next to me, I'm going to stay on it all night. So I don't know. Something just told me to check my phone. And I see 2 missed calls from Marv. And I'm like, my brother doesn't call me this late unless 2 reasons. There's a family emergency and there's an NBA trade. And I said,
NBA news.
Yeah, right. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to get alarmed and think of the worst because somebody else in the family would have called me if something happened. It's got to be NBA related. I said, you know what? Let me check my other WhatsApps. And shout out to Jose in the Hit List group chat. And it says, my tag, Kevin Durant got traded. And my mouth just dropped. And I call Marvin back and he just starts to laugh. So that was my first reaction. Marvin, what was your first reaction to that news when you saw it? I guess, did you get a notification? Or how did you?
No, how I found out, I was middle of the night. I couldn't sleep, so I was watching some old wrestling content, and I was going through YouTube channels. Yeah, I follow a lot of basketball stuff on YouTube, so I saw a link that just said Kevin Durant dealt to the Suns. When I looked at the channel, you get a lot of fake channels on YouTube. It was ESPN's official YouTube at 1:30 in the morning. So I said, nah, there's only one place I could check. I didn't even go. I went to Google and I typed WOJ Twitter. Woj Twitter. That's all I needed. Once I went to his page, he was already saying the Suns have to deal. He had already tweeted that, the Nets were working through the night to make sure that the trade happened. And then I saw his side of the Suns side of the deal, what the Suns were sending off. And that's when I called you. I was like, yeah, this is real. It's a Woj bomb. It's real.
Rick, for you, what was your, first reaction? How did you find out? Because again, the news broke out late. So it's like everyone's waking up to it. If you were up late last night, you figured it out. So for you, how did you figure it out?
Yeah, so last night I was actually up late and I was scrolling through my phone. I was looking at some, we got a trip coming up, we're trying to plan and whatnot. I'm looking through stuff in regards to that. And I fell asleep at some point, but I know I was up late. So it was funny that I didn't get anything that before I knocked out. And this morning I wake up, I normally don't really get to my phone till after I get my daughter off to school and whatnot, sometimes in the car while we're waiting for the bus, but I didn't touch my phone. I got back, jumped on my little workout, and I'm like, all right, I got this, I'm doing this run. Let me put on some background noise. Sure enough, flip on ESPN and I'm upstairs and I screamed, oh shit. And my son is downstairs like, what happened? You okay? I'm like, yo, KD got traded to the Suns. And he's running upstairs like, what? So it's one of those things where that's when I jumped into the chats and I finally saw all the missed messages from, overnight and whatnot. And man, it's nuts, man. It's crazy to see. I know we'll get deeper into it, but man, that was a shock to see. Is coming off of the trade on Sunday. I wasn't expecting to see something like that, in the dead of night. Shout out to the Suns, because I find it very interesting that, they're what is it? They're what, 3 hours behind, maybe 2 or 3 hours behind, 2 hours behind, So it's funny where, for them, it's like, nah, y'all ain't going to sleep. Like, come on, man. Like, text me back, pick up the phone. Like, it's still early over here. So that's dope to knock out a trade like that. What seems to be rather quickly as well. So, we'll see when all the details come out. But yeah, definitely a shocker to wake up to this morning.
So, I mean, I guess the first reaction, I know we're going to try to get a coach who's kind of our WOM in the hitless streets, and he lets us know what's going on. Do you guys possibly have any idea? I'm trying to figure out why Phoenix of all places, as far as, what's the team for him to go to next? What did he possibly see in Phoenix that we may not have? Because we noticed Chris Paul's on the decline. Devin Booker has kind of been in and out of the injury of the lineup. DeAndre Ayton's having trouble with the coach. So, Marv, would you happen to know possibly why Phoenix was the place of destination for Kevin?
It's the easiest option without getting blamed for it. Anywhere else he would have went, they would have said he's joining a winning team. I mean, the Suns are a winning team, but they haven't had much success, to me, since the bubble. I mean, they did go deep against my fault, y'all. Try to call me. They did go deep against, who was it, Denver? But that wasn't. That if you were to ask them if they needed something to get over that hump, Durant would be that. But for Durant's choice, I didn't see him staying in the East anymore. I figured he was going back west if he was going to move again. And the reason for that is because in the East, where does he go? He's not going to Boston. There's beef there. He's not going to Philly. He's not going to the Bucks. You know what I mean? Like when you think about it, if he was to go to any other team, it would have been a team that's in a rebuilding process. So obviously he was going to a team where he could win. But the Phoenix, the only other team probably who else he could have went to, like maybe Denver, like that would have been another option. But
but Denver's the number one seed. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
Joining us right now, we have Manny Olivo, and we also have our Womack, Coach Womack, who's our WOM. Coach, could you possibly let us know in terms of like Mark was just explained to us why Phoenix was the choice for Kevin Durant? What's your intel telling you why Phoenix of all the choices? I guess was that the best fit for him? Was it in terms of destination as far as does he want to be there in Phoenix? Why Phoenix?
When you look at the makeup of the roster, Phoenix presented almost a similar makeup to what the Nets would have upgrade in terms of your center position. You got a point guard who's strong, who can lead the team. Chris Paul is a pass first point guard. Now at this, almost every point in his career he's been pass first, but definitely more now. A wing shooter in Devin Booker will create his own shot, create his own space, so you can't double team him as much. And then you got a big who can shoot the mid-range jump shot and who's dominant down low. So it really was about, where did he fit? And honestly, if you look at the options, there wasn't that many options, for him to go to and still stay with a contender. So that team actually produced a similar makeup to the teams we've seen them play on before. Space, shooting, and people who are going to let KD be KD. I don't think Devin Booker or Chris Paul are going to come in there and say, hey, you get 7 isolations per game. We got to understand that. We're going to get you the ball on a high post. We're going to spread out the court, and we're going to let you do your thing. So I really think that that's the reason why, he ended up in Phoenix. I didn't think he wanted to play with Chris Paul as much, from what I was hearing. But at the end of the day, there wasn't many opportunities that gave him that kind of scenario in terms of the makeup of the team benefiting his style of play.
Also joining us as well is Manny. Manny, how did you find out? What was your first reaction when you saw it? When you saw the trade, and how did you find out?
I mean, I woke up at like 4 a.m. to like 1,000 text messages and tags from every single type of thing. I was like, damn, everybody love me. I died or something. Like, what's going on here? Like, I guess it's a funeral, but Jesus Christ, can I get this kind of love every day from everybody? What's good? Honestly, it's just nothing new. You know, I've been through this with I've been with this 10 years ago. I dealt with this when I had Paul Pierce and KG. Then it's the dark times. Womack called it. I mean, if you want to be literal, when we first acquired KD and Kyrie, I did say on the live, we had a 3-year window and I didn't believe we would do it. So technically, you could blame it all on me, Nets fans, or the true Net fans. But it's annoying. It's tough, but I'm here for the smoke. I don't duck. And the best part is I'm actually going to the game tonight.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of places you can sit, buddy.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yo, Wong.
I'm curious.
He might be able to play.
Right. I'm curious to see how Brooklyn reacts to this. Rick, let me ask you this now. Now that Kevin Durant is there, it comes down to, will this work? Because that's always the first initial thought that everyone has is after a trade goes down, you start to break it down and look at the teams and see if it's going to fit. Will the coaching matter? You have to get accustomed to a new player, so will this work given Phoenix, and are they now the title favorites in the West? Or, I mean, are they now the favorites to win the West and to win the championship?
Yeah, easy answer on paper is yes and yes, right? On paper, that's the easy answer.
On paper, yeah, I'll take that.
Something both Marv and Coach mentioned, right? When you asked as far as why Phoenix, and Coach hit the nail on the head when he was talking about it's a similar situation to what he's gone to before when he's made these decisions, right? So I look at this decision and I look at it almost identical to the Warriors situation, where you're going into a team that has the pieces in place that fully complement exactly what it is you do on the basketball court, right? So you don't have to adjust and change your game whatsoever, nor do those pieces that you're going to join, right? Then, Coach mentioned too, you look around the league at what the potential deals might have been. I couldn't imagine any other team being able to trade for him and still be able to keep the type of talent and star power that Phoenix was able to keep while still getting them. So there's that also, right? And then you talk about, let's go back to when he did go to the Warriors came off of an historic year where they did all these great things except for win a title, right? We're 2 years removed from watching the Suns supposed to get crowned, supposed to go and get CP3 his first title, and they're upended by the Bucks. Last year's playoff run ended in disappointment. So now, like Marv said before, you can go over there and join that team, and if they win, you can still get that type of credit that folks were giving with the Warriors, where it's like, hey, well, yeah, they were great last year, but they didn't win. He came and helped them get over that hump. So a lot of good reasons for him to go there. I think the biggest thing before we started evaluating how good they could possibly be and what they could look like the rest of the season, we still got 3 hours to go, right? There's a lot of teams waking up to this news now who didn't expect to have to be active coming into the trade deadline, who were set on what they had in the building. Now they see what Phoenix has in the building, and they kind of have to look around now and be like, hold on, we might have to get a little better now. We may not be in the best position to just kind of put it in cruise control the rest of the way. So again, easy answer on paper. Yeah, it should work based on what we've seen before. Yeah, they should be the favorites, but I do want to see them play first, obviously, and I want to see what the rest of the league does in the next 3 hours to counteract that move.
Marv, are
also
you
to piggyback? Yeah, no.
Yeah, Marv,
just to piggyback what he was.
I was going to say,
quick, before I lose this, to piggyback what he was saying, you also got to think about the teams. When Kevin Durant announced that he wanted to trade, the teams that were trying to deal for him as well, now they got to change their entire game plan as well.
Yeah. Marv, let me ask you this. Again, when it comes to health, and we always talk about in the playoffs, it comes down to health and matchups. You have an older Chris Paul. You have Kevin Durant coming off another injury. Devin Booker has a hamstring injury issue. Could that be the derailment of the team even before they start this whole thing?
No.
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 No. All right.
No.
Well, you can't elaborate,
First
or
of
you
all,
just say
listen.
no? I'm just that fair question here.
Chris Paul has a history of being hurt in the playoffs and not being available throughout the entire playoffs. So that's expected of him. I expect that from Chris Paul. Everybody knows that. Name a series where Chris Paul played the entire series and didn't go down with some type of injury, get hurt his hand, I don't know, something, right?
Right.
Devin Book, it's not a common thing for me to be like, Devin Book is injured again. So we'll just hope he stays healthy. And is Ayton good, right?
Ayton's good,
What
but
does
his
that
issue is more so dealing with the coach, which I'll get to in another question. But Kevin Durant's coming off an injury himself. So
I've
and
seen
they haven't
that,
had
but
a time of
Durant came off of the Achilles injury and started dropping 20, 28 again. So I'm not too concerned.
Okay. Coach, similar question as far as, as with the X's and O's, does this work? Because we all know trades work on paper when you have superstars, but for you as an X's and O's guy, does this work for them to legit win the West and also, win the championship?
Listen, those are plays that all can adjust. So and Monty's a great coach. So I don't think, NBA, all the teams run the same 6 or 7 sets. It's just different iterations of how they get into it and different iterations of how they react to what the defense gives you. So we're not going to see a lot change. We're going to see a lot of similar Kevin Durant post-ups at the free throw line extended, split action on the opposite side with Devin Booker, Chris Paul pick and roll action with Kevin Durant to get the mismatch to get to the high post ISO. We're going to see a lot of those ISO plays in Devin Booker. When he goes to the bench, it's KD's turn. When KD goes to the bench, Devin Booker, you're the ISO guy in Ayton pick and roll city. But here's the bigger question. Name me the last time a team who made a big season acquisition for a superstar won the championship that year.
Would you consider Rasheed Wallace a big acquisition in 2004?
Name me a time when a superstar or a star was traded mid-season.
Rasheed is a star. He wasn't a star?
He's not. He wasn't on the level of
he's saying superstar, though.
He also said star. I'm just correcting.
I mean, that's all right. Listen, we know Rasheed Wallace was he was a role player. He was maybe a little above average role player at that time, but he wasn't per se Carmelo Anthony trade mid-season. He wasn't.
I think I know the answer to that. Was it Clyde Drexler in 94?
I was going to say, what was the question one more time? I'm so sorry.
The last time a superstar or star, high-level player of this caliber, KD's caliber, Carmelo character, Charles Barkley, when they were traded mid-season and that team won a championship that season. When's the last time it happened?
Well, it was Clyde Drexler in 94. They were the 6th seed and they went to the championship.
Yo, Carl. Really quick, y'all. Breaking news. Lakers just traded Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets for Devon Reed and 3 second-round picks.
Sorry, coach.
Oh, my God.
That's his coach's
Oh,
guy.
my God.
Sorry, coach. Wow, live reaction. Coach, you good?
Y'all seen the Jay Crowder one too.
Actually,
Jay Crowder to the Bucks
for
for
my boy.
Wait,
what?
Jay Crowder to the Bucks too?
Yeah, for 5 second-round picks.
Wow.
Shout out to Cam Thomas.
Carl,
and apparently they're keeping
that's
Bridges.
Actually a good trade for my boy because he wasn't playing when AD came back. He'll play on the Nuggets, and we know he's good for 12 and 8 if he gets proper minutes. So
yeah.
I'm happy with that trade for him. I'm just
Thank
mad
you guys for the breaking trade news that's happening right now. But coach,
so back to coach's question. Yeah, I don't know that
coach.
interest.
Yeah, I think it is Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler was traded mid-season, and then there was
to the Rockets, right?
Yeah, the Rockets. That's
so
what
that's my point. It takes, you got 35 games, give or take less, in the regular season, and then you got the playoffs. As good as you are, it takes time to gel. We all know this. From the best teams to the best players. The Kevin Durant trade to Golden State, that was done in the summer, right? The signing, excuse me. They got a whole preseason. They got a whole season.
Happened in July.
Yeah, July. And then they won. Miami, he had to wait a year until they won their championship when they got LeBron. So I don't pick the
Celtics
Suns
with Durant.
Celtics
with Garnett.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have the Suns.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol.
I don't have the Suns.
That's a great point.
I don't have the Suns winning the West. I don't have the Suns winning the championship only because history shows me that it takes time to gel. I got the Suns, if all healthy, next year being the number 1 contenders in the West Coast and in the NBA.
You said next year?
Yeah, next year.
Well, Rick, but again, Chris Paul would be a year older. Kevin Durant will be a year
older.
older.
That's okay. That's okay. Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett was a year older.
They were, but they were still in their top. They were like 30, 31, 32. You're talking 30, 34, 30, 38, 39. And these guys having injuries and bodies, and we know how load management works. I'm just saying, again, The
Well, that's why the
longevity
big
period is not
hold
the
on,
same, coach. It's
Carl.
not the
The
same.
big question is a lot of ifs. So you got to say if healthy. But nobody knows if anyone's healthy. I can say the Celtics are the best East Coast contender until Jason Tatum gets injured, or if he gets injured.
Fair.
You know, it's all about if.
Yo,
healthy.
knock on wood before Carl has a heart attack, please.
Yeah, I don't want it to happen.
Too late. You see him put his head down. He put his head down like, why you say that?
Yeah, I
They
don't
said
want
that
it
to
to
me last
happen.
night. They said that to me last night too, and I was kind of like, "Yo, bro, come on, leave Malcolm Brogdon alone." Rick, you had a question or a point to make? Sorry, I cut you off.
Well, kind of like what you guys were saying, right? So one of the things you just mentioned as far as a year older, yeah, true, right? And obviously, father time is always going to be an issue. But I think bringing somebody in like KD now, again, obviously we're hoping for health, right? Assuming healthy, having somebody like KD now and Booker, and then depending on what Ayton looks like, CP3 can age gracefully the next couple of years with that type of core around him. So I'll give him that, right? So one of the things I was going to mention, great point by Mac, as far as, kind of going through some of those teams that made these big time acquisitions, whether it be in the summer or mid-season. And normally it does take a year. So I guess my thought process is, okay, and Mac, this is specifically for you, just because obviously with the insight and knowledge that you have, assuming health, right? You've got this core together. Two-part question. How many years, like what's the window look like for this core?
Great question.
And how much success can we possibly see?
Great question. Yeah.
The window for this team is, we're going to count this as half a year, 2.5 years.
Okay.
2.5 years. That's the window for this. And you know what? That lines up with Kevin Durant's contract. 2.5 years is the window for this team. That they got this half year, you give them chances. Next year, they should be a contender, getting to the finals, maybe West Coast championship game, game 7. And then that following year, you got to win it or it blows up. Everyone's gone.
Blow him up. Yep.
It's blowed up after that. It's Kevin
Durant
Durant.
going first.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. So 2.5 years, I got faith.
So, okay, so let's say this now. We're looking at the Western Conference. Denver's 1, Memphis is 2.
If the playoffs
that
start
made the trades.
Dallas plays Phoenix. That's interesting.
Right. So you have the 2 teams that made the trade. Phoenix is in at 5th and Dallas in at 6th. In the second half of the season, are we expecting those 2 teams to kind of swap? Like these
you looking at this?
Is that what we're saying is going to swap, or are they going to be comfortable to try to stay in their pack and where their seating is, or are they going to try to push themselves to the top? Coach.
Wait, say that again, Carl?
So you got Denver and Memphis at the top at the 1 and 2, and you got Phoenix and Dallas, the 2 teams that just made trade for Kevin Durant and Kyrie at 5 and 6. Are these 2 teams going to try to stand?
Yeah, where are you getting your information, sir?
What happened?
Where are you getting your intel?
In terms of what, the standings? Am I wrong on the standings?
Dallas is 4, Phoenix is 5.
I guess NBA doesn't update their standings then.
I'm on NBA.com.
No, I guess the app doesn't update their standings. Say again?
That's what I'm saying. I got Dallas 4, Phoenix 5. That's what I said. The playoffs
Okay, so
started
Dallas
today.
4, Phoenix 5.
Hold on,
I'm
let me
sorry.
tell you
Again.
something. Hold on.
Yo,
Wait,
I had no
wait.
idea the Kings were the 3rd seed.
Well, but hold on, Rick.
Yeah,
I was about to touch
the
on that.
Kings.
I'm about to touch on that. The Kings.
I had to refresh like 3 times.
Yeah, so again,
Welcome to the
basically
project.
my question is trying to figure out, are these 2 teams going to try to push themselves to the top, or are they going to try to stand back because they know they're making the playoffs and let the dominoes fall?
The Kings, welcome back to the projects. You will be moving down very, very shortly. You are going to be dropping. That the Mavericks and Suns and the Clippers, because I still think the Clippers, the way they play, the way they coach, I'm not ruling them out. The Mavs, I have the Suns finishing 3rd. The Mavs, the Clippers are going to be 4 or 5. I got, if possible, I think the Kings might not even make the playing team. There'll be a playing team. Kings will move out of there.
Versus who? Portland?
Marv, do you agree?
Yeah, the Kings. I mean, look, the Clippers right now technically have more wins than Phoenix and the West is tight. The games behind is like 4 games, and then every team after that is like a game. So, yeah, he's right. The Clippers between Dallas, the Suns, and the Clippers, they're gonna move up over the Kings. That's for a fact. I do see the Kings making the play-ins, probably against like
The Warriors.
It depends on how the Warriors finish the season, because the Warriors are liable to go on like a 10-game winning streak and find themselves up in the top 8 again. It really depends on who they play towards the end of the season. You also have to think about the teams that play like, Brooklyn. Like, those are easy W's now. I'm sorry, Brooklyn. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at your schedule for the rest of the season.
Damn, how that changes so much in a week. Now you see Brooklyn on the menu. It's not in a
Days.
week,
A
like
week.
2 days.
In the
Man.
2 days. In 2 days. Brooklyn was
Yo,
So-
Womack, change your tone, bro.
So well, that kind of leads into my final question as we begin to wrap. Manny, what's next for the Nets?
I'm still gonna talk smack.
Project.
Y'all can cash.
No.
Y'all can all cash these hands. It
Anybody-
don't matter.
anybody
what's
gotta-
next for your team as far as I guess this is now a rebuilding around
Bro,
Ben Simmons?
he needs a hammer. Yeah, he needs a hammer, some planks, some nails. It's rebuilding, baby.
But again, are you
Oh,
rebuilding
trying to
around Ben
rebuild.
Simmons or within 3 hours is Ben Simmons?
Around who? Who?
Ben Simmons. I'm asking the
Ladies
question.
and gentlemen, Rick, Jamal, Manny, have a good one. Called trolling now.
No, I'm not trolling.
He definitely is.
No, I'm not. I'm asking a question. No,
Yeah,
no.
Yo, we building around Cam Thomas and Yuta Watanabe.
That's
Okay,
crazy. That's crazy. That's nasty work, yo.
it's bad, but
Nasty
honestly, from what I'm reading in the reports, I mean, Mac, you could probably attest to it. You have more knowledge, obviously. Well, not the knowledge part, but you have sources and stuff. It's just apparently they're saying that they're keeping Bridges, and
work. I think Cam, they trying to get rid of Cam. I think Cam, but they want to
Which-
keep Cam too. They should keep Cam.
I'd rather
Cam.
keep Cam on it. I'd rather keep both, to be honest. But if we can, supposedly there's reports that we might trade back to Houston to get more picks.
Yeah.
There's other stuff that's going on.
And that was my thing, because how good are the Suns picks for 4 first-round picks?
Yeah, they're. I mean,
Like
we
the
don't.
Suns have been in the
We
top
don't have a
seeding for like the
viable
last couple of
pick
years.
until
Like, what
2028,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. 2028 is when we have an actual viable pick in the first round or whatever.
pick swap?
But
Rick, let me ask you this. In your earlier vlog, you said that Net fans should be very advocate in protesting something.
Yo,
That's what you said in your initial vlog.
Yeah.
not lying
Stand by
though.
that.
I mean, listen, man. I mean, they essentially been sold a dream, right? Now, granted, a lot of things happened over the course of the past 3 years or so. Like, there was a lot of bad luck and just missteps and unfortunate
Basketball
situations
gods,
that
Rick.
had to be
The basketball
dealt with.
gods.
I get it, right? But at the end of the day, man, you can't have those 3 guys on your team and not have but one series win. You got one playoff series win out of it,
Well,
and then you send all 3 of them packing. You haven't been
Listen,
able to
okay,
bring
you
back
know what?
not
Let
even
me try
one
to be objective
all-star
here,
for
right?
them.
right.
Like, it's go ahead.
Correct. Let me be objective for a second. Let's just take a look at the 3 years and what's happened with that. It wasn't a regular. There was no regular.
Totally
the last 3
understand.
years, right? So
I
we have.
totally
Again, I
understand
know
that.
we don't make excuses. I'm just trying to be as objective as possible. You had
There's
COVID.
no excuse.
Yep.
You had Kyrie not playing home games. You had James Harden getting hurt. And then you bring in Ben Simmons, who's coming off a player who doesn't want to play. And then you have Kevin Durant being out with injury. Like, he was out, I think, at one point last season with an injury, with a knee injury as well. And then this year,
Didn't
there were a
Kyrie
lot
miss
of
the whole
factors.
first season?
Right. Say it again.
Didn't Kyrie miss the whole first Brooklyn season?
No, I think he was in and out
KD,
because of like injury as well. So there was a lot. Then you had like the bubble year. There was a lot of factors. And Max looking at me like he doesn't care.
No, because I gotta
There were a lot
I'm
of
saying, like,
factors.
no,
I'm
no,
just
first,
saying.
because
So here's the thing.
Listen.
year
If you guys
Durant
gonna
got
sit here
there-
and tell me that they don't matter and say, Carl, shut up, you're wrong. I'll take it. I'm just.
I'm
saying
sorry,
the fact
Durant's
Here's the
that
first
thing.
year.
Nobody's saying-
Durant's first
nobody's
year in
saying-
Brooklyn.
Kyrie played that, but then I think he ended up getting hurt, and I think that was the COVID year. Yeah, 1920 was the COVID year.
No,
So here's
he
the
got.
thing. Nobody's
got
saying
hurt
none of
and
that.
then the bubble
None of
happened.
that doesn't matter, right? We're not saying that doesn't matter. We're not saying that stuff didn't happen. I obviously said, yeah, there was a lot of unlucky situations and bad hands dealt. But guess what? Everybody had to deal with all of that stuff too. And
At some
through
point in the
that,
NBA.
and through that, not everybody hauled off
Listen,
3
Carl.
generationally great basketball players and got back nothing in return.
Yeah.
Fellas,
For
When you
neither
say
one of them.
generationally great,
fellas. Let's just call it what it is. Manny, I apologize for the next 2 minutes in advance. You my boy and I love you.
Hold on, Mac. Before you start, don't apologize. Like, let me just get this across to everybody here. I talked so much smack the moment we got them. I expect all smoke and deserve.
I
all
respect
smoke.
it.
All
I'm
right.
not hiding from it. Do not apologize, please.
So
Let me deal with it, but just continue to add fuel to the fire. Go ahead and cook.
I gotta leave, but I'm gonna say this. This experiment will go down as the worst experiment ever in NBA history for superstars.
In
Ever.
all sports history.
This
all
is the
sports
worst.
history.
All sports?
This is the
Yeah. It's not
absolute.
a reach either. Yeah, it's
This
true.
is the
No,
absolute.
no.
Guys, I need to get this
100%.
out. Let me get this out. I need to get this out. I need to get this out. This, because a little bit of the rant came out the other day. The reason why is because, like Manny said, a lot of Net fans, you hatched and you said it was over and you were going to win the championship, and your excitement went from being good to championship to we run things, and you didn't win anything. You won one series. This is the worst experiment. A lot of things happen, but who cares? Like Rick said, it happens to everyone. You guys you're not even relevant to anyone in the NBA now. Do you understand that? Do you understand that they're going to take all your TV games tomorrow? You will not be on national TV. Your TV games are being stripped as we speak right now. They are delegating those to other teams. And do you understand that people are giving their tickets away to people in the streets right now? Season tickets are being handed out on Flatbush and Atlantic Terminal.
On Flatbush, no. Hold on, I gotta be myself.
If you need Nets tickets, go to Flatbush right now. They are handing the tickets out.
Yo, none for
right.
Nostrand Avenue?
Huh?
None for Nostrand Avenue? Got
Not for
Nostrand?
Nostrand. You got to go to Flatbush and Atlantic to get your tickets. Buffalo Wild Wings has the net special right now. 20 wings. 20 wings and you get floor seats. 20 wings and you get floor seats right now. At Buffalo Wild
Yo,
Wings.
Sauce Gardner about to do a commercial for it. Watch.
I
Yo,
mean, technically,
Coach,
we have so many
I
women.
just have a
Coach,
question.
so
I just
who
have a
wants New
question
York?
real quick before
Who's
y'all run away, because before Coach leaves. I know y'all said this is the worst project with 3 superstars, but are we really gonna ignore P. Westbrook and Harden?
They made the
Who?
finals.
Yeah, they made the finals, bro.
They made the finals. Huh?
Houston?
They
I
made the
can't hear
Western
you.
Conference. They made the Western
Houston?
Conference Finals. Western
Oh,
Conference
Houston.
Finals.
Conference
Western
finals.
Conference. Western Conference Finals.
Houston?
Yeah, they
The
were
worst.
one game. They was one game away from being in the
Yeah,
championship.
this is the worst. This is probably the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the worst.
So final
The
thoughts
worst.
here, Rick, as we wrap
So
up.
so even though they were never all 3 together in the playoffs at the same time like that.
Still.
That's probably
No,
worse.
that's
That's the worst fact. You did all this to not even get those guys all 3 together.
but that's injury, bro.
Yo, it's life.
That's life. We
Comes
hope.
at
Right,
you
but to
fast.
call
Yo,
it the
can I-
worst, it'd be different if they were together and failed like on the court together. But they literally played, I think, 30 games together, or maybe 20 games as a unit of the 3 of the project. They probably
It
played
was
at
only
most
9.
20 games. Oh,
Wasn't
my
it
fault,
like 9?
I gave them too many games. My fault. That project in Houston played a damn near whole season together and failed.
Fans got their money's worth.
So did Brooklyn.
You know what it is for Matt?
Happy
Because
look.
again, everyone said that the Knicks didn't run the city. It was
Manny's
the
still
Brooklyn
going
Nets.
tonight. What you mean?
My thing is, so can I say something real quick? This
You
whole
got 2 minutes, bro. I gotta go to
Yo.
class.
I just want to know, what fans do y'all know specifically, especially in the sports headless, said we run New York? I'm
They
still,
said it. They did
I'm-
say it. We
I'm
can
still-
go back and
What's your
search.
man Eric?
but the thing is, but that's the thing, y'all. I need tags, I need receipts, because I have
I'm gonna go
never
look
said
for
it. I know y'all not talking about me, but I'm just saying, I'm seeing this consistent. I'm like, yo, for anybody that ever said it, it's just dumb. First of all, the Knicks have been in New York playing for New York and MSG for years. We had to win it, and I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong, Womack, you said the Nets need to win the chip at least
So they're called.
to get garner something.
So
Not
let's
take
call
over,
for the
but to
apology
garner.
of James Harden right now. He said we need to apologize to James Harden.
Who?
James Harden.
Yeah, because when he left, we thought it
For
was
what?
him, and everybody else left now, which is a fair point too.
See, hold
No,
on.
no,
No, that's
no.
hold on, because then that's not fair, because Durant asked for a trade his first year out of Brooklyn. They give it to him.
Oh, he asked for a trade last year.
Oh, okay, the last year, but still, he asked for one
But the
first.
point is, but the point is that when James left, everyone said that James was the problem and he's a quitter.
Carl,
But not everybody else left.
Everyone, you
Before
love
we
saying
shut off.
everyone. Yeah, wait.
Before we shut off, Carl, remember me to give you 1 point before we shut off.
Go ahead,
You know, I
sir.
got the closing statement. No, keep going. I got the closing statement.
No,
No,
I gotta
no.
close. It's 1 minute. So, Rick,
Wait,
any
before-
final thoughts?
No,
Well,
really
no,
quick.
I was gonna say, as far as what Marv was saying, like kind of about that point, why I feel like it is the biggest disappointment, not even just in the NBA. I feel like without a doubt in NBA, but in all of sports, again, the NBA, you're playing on the shortest surface of all the sports, essentially. It's 5 guys on the floor at any given time, right? This is a team that for the past 3 years had the advantage at least 20 to 60% based off of personnel. That's an embarrassment.
9 games
That's
for
it
9
doesn't
total
even
games.
still, but at certain point, at 9 games for the 60% to have
That's
all
like
3
saying-
together.
that's-
But at
but
certain
that's
points,
like
you've
saying
got 2 of
so-
them. At certain points, you've got 1. If
got-
you hit the
fellas, I
floor
really gotta
and you
go, yo.
either got the best player
on.
or the best
Carl.
and second best player on the court, you got to
Let me
be
ask-
better, man.
Go
Let me
ahead.
ask
Go
y'all a
ahead. Go ahead.
question.
On my coat.
Is there a game on Sunday that we haven't been talking about? I'm out, y'all.
Oh
Who controls the
wow,
media? I'm out, y'all.
this guy.
The
This
NBA
guy.
is
Listen,
fantastic.
the
We
2
out.
weeks, the 2 weeks for the Super Bowl build-up is trash. Everybody knows that.
Fellas, I'll talk to you guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We got the B show tonight at 6:00. She'll be talking Super Bowl. Make sure you tune into that. And Rick and I are kind of working on a midday show coming soon, possibly to the Hitless Streets. Midday lunch break with Rick and Carl. So thank you all for the love and support. Marv, bro, I love you. I'll check you soon. Manny, stay up, man. You well?
Yeah, man.